All right, so tonight we had an injury that you typically don't really see too often, but this was an NBA referee getting injured, and all he was really doing was running down the court. You can see he kind of just pulls up and just stops, blows the whistle, and calls the play himself. We also have this other angle. This is kind of after the injury occurs, but again, you can see he's just like gingerly finishing his trot to the sideline, I guess you could say. And so I want to kind of break this down because we only have one view of this, but I feel like it actually tells a lot of the story. And so when we have such a limited view like this, we have to really focus on what we're not seeing. So what we don't see, he doesn't plant, he doesn't twist, he's running in a straight line, and he doesn't collapse immediately, right? He's able to continue running, and eventually he ends up on the floor, but I think that's his own doing. As you can see, he kind of just runs to the sideline, finishes his run, and you can even see him kind of bouncing up and down over there, feeling things out. And so one of the first things you kind of worry about with these older athletes or older refs is going to be, did he tear his Achilles? I don't think so. I don't think he'd be able to jump up and down like this if that did happen, so I think we can rule that out here. And I think this step right here is going to be where the injury actually occurs on his right leg. You can see he's in that triple extension position. His hips extended, his knees extended, and his foot's kind of extended or plantar flexed. And so what you'll notice after that step, he actually begins to kind of favor that right leg. You know, he doesn't really want to put his full weight on it. He doesn't want to run full speed on it. And he even looks like he's attempting to grab at the back of his leg there. And we can't truly see if he's grabbing the back of his thigh, but if you're in normal running form, he should be swinging that right arm through. And he's not doing that. So I think he's grabbing the back of his thigh where he's feeling the pain. And going back to our mechanism here, if this is truly where the injury occurred, he's basically in that triple extension and full sprinting down the court in a straight line. So I think this is going to be a hamstring injury. Now, just based off his reaction and the way he's kind of able to make his way to the sideline, I don't think this is a complete tear. If anything, I think this is a strain to his hamstring, which again, not super uncommon in this older population. We even see it in the younger population, but the older individuals are going to be at greater risk of these types of injuries, especially when they're full sprinting down a basketball court. And so just taking a look at our anatomy here, the hamstring is a collection of three muscles, so it's going to be your biceps femoris, your semimembranosus, and your semitendinosus. Now, of these three muscles, the most commonly strained one is going to be our biceps femoris on the outside here. And the hamstrings are what we call a biarticulate muscle, so basically they stretch across two joints. Now, those two joints being your hip and your knee. So at your hip, they're going to cause hip extension, and at the knee, they're going to cause knee flexion. Now, the announcers did say that this might be a knee injury, so this could be something like a distal hamstring injury. And distal just means it's going to be furthest away from the center of your body pretty much. And now it's kind of impossible to confirm the diagnosis or differentiate the severity of this injury without having some hands on them. Typically when you have a muscular injury, the best way to assess the severity is going to be by testing the muscle strength. So you would do what's called a manual muscle test. Basically, you'd put them in a position and have them do that muscle's action. So in this case, if it was the hamstring, you would have him basically go in a seated position and try and have him bring his heel to his butt, or on his stomach as well, you could do it. And that's basically just testing his hamstring strength by doing knee flexion. And then based on his strength, or if he can do it against gravity, or if he can do it with resistance, without resistance, you would pretty much be able to give that a grade and define the severity of this injury. But these are just my thoughts on the injury, so let me know what you think, if I got it right, if I got it wrong, if you were thinking something else, down in the comments. I'm here to talk everything sports medicine, sports injuries, so I'd love to hear some feedback on what you think.